It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
I guess I know what that's about. I know what that's about. When they can't beat you, they try to cheat you.
Oh, man. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, October 19th, 2023. A very funny. Is this April 1st?
It almost. It feels like. It feels like.
Woodward Sports Network. Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
First the schedule was too easy, and now they got Spygate. Hey, Maz, I'll let you take it, brother. I just all laugh, Maz. I'm rocking my Hellgate. Shout out to John Kleinman and the crew.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, guys. Happy Blue Thursday, everybody. We got some news, right?
Oh, man.
I got a couple words for you. I can't hold me no more.
Oh, R.I.P. Paulie, one of the great character actors of all time.
100.
You're busted.
100%.
How about you'll hit the one in the middle?
Hey, he reminds me of my uncle. Remember, he goes out there, he tells me, he say, yo, if I could step out of myself and be anybody else, I want to be you. You're all hard rock. And then in the span of 10 minutes, gets in the ring and looks at Ivan Drago and was like, remember that stuff I said to tell him? Forget all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me set it up for you. John U. Bacon going to join us coming up. Top of hour number 2. We'll talk to Baltimore Sun Ravens beat writer Brian Wacker. We'll do that in about 30 minutes from now, but we will start with the report in Yahoo Sports, Dan Wetzel, Ross Dellinger, that the NCAA is investigating Michigan football for alleged rules violations related to sign stealing. Yes, sign stealing. The NCAA investigating the Michigan football program for allegedly violating rules that prohibit teams from scouting in person future opponents, industry sources told Yahoo Sports. The allegation, Braylon,
Talk to me.
pertains to the NCAA bylaw 11.6.1.
Point one.
Yes,
Okay.
11.6.1.
There we go.
Which reads, quote,
And I quote,
off-campus, in-person scouting of future opponents in the same season is prohibited.
Is that
End
right?
quote. The Big Ten Conference received notification from the NCAA that the organization is conducting an investigation into the Wolverines. A league spokesperson says, I could barely get through this. The spokesperson declined comment
Oh, is that right?
on this. Teams are normally provided extensive video footage to scout opponents. At issue, though, according to sources,
there's the sources.
is whether Michigan used unnamed individuals who have no name, to attend games of both scheduled opponents and possible college football playoff opponents in an effort to gather information on the signs they use to call both offensive and defensive plays.
Potential.
So, here you go. Ready?
Sounds pretty smart.
Oh, this is very serious.
Very Bill
this is very
Belichick-ish.
serious stuff, guys. Sign stealing is not technically prohibited, as it has a long and colorful history as part of the game.
Technically.
But scouting opponents in person has
Oh.
been prohibited since 1994.
Is that right?
Whether the NCAA believes
State.
Michigan was using staffers or others who may be loyal to the program is unknown. Technically not allowed. May be unknown who these individuals are.
A lot of gray area words. Gray area.
So, 2 is whether the information detailed via video or some other means, or if head coach Jim Harbaugh is involved.
That just sounds like a bunch of technical gray area nothingness. Like this behooves me. When they can't beat you, they will cheat you. try to continuously keep Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan in the bad light as they are rolling through people. I just want to know which one, and I understand they also said potential future playoff teams. One, how do you know who the hell is going to be in the playoff? Two, UNLV, did we get some film on them?
You get some East Carolina sign stealing.
Maybe
going?
It was Minnesota.
I think it was Bowling Green. I think Bowling Green got him.
But we did beat Nebraska by 49. Yeah. Maybe it was Nebraska.
Could have been Minnesota.
PJ Fleck did say it was the best team he's ever seen.
No doubt.
Get the F out of here.
Maybe it was UNLV. Michigan 6-0, ranked number 2 in the country, heading into the rivalry game. And, oh, by the way, the Spartan staff was notified of the situation earlier this week. They didn't want to play the game.
What? There's the magic word.
Right. 2 of Michigan's opponents this season told Yahoo Sports they became aware that Michigan knew their play signs. Sign stealing does not violate NCAA rules unless the team uses in-game electronic equipment to relay the information to players on the field or amongst coaches. The 2023 football rulebook addresses sign stealing in a very general way under a section titled Prohibited Field Equipment. We call that PFE. It states that any attempt to record, either through audio or video means, any signals given by any opposing player, coach, or team personnel is prohibited. No corresponding penalty is listed, though. There's no penalty for this.
Sounds like.
Okay? The rulebook does express the need for coaches to follow the so-called football code and states that only the highest standards of sportsmanship and conduct are expected of players, coaches, and others associated with the game. It further lists numerous examples of unethical and unsportsmanlike conduct, but sign stealing? Not among them. Regardless of the extent of this operation, apparently concerned the NCAA, in-person scouting was prohibited in 1994. Teams commonly use hand signals or visual pictures.
Yeah, they hold up those signs. Britney Spears.
Yeah, you can't see those. Can't see those on the broadcast.
No, you can't see them on TV.
Can't see them on the broadcast at all.
No.
Stealing those signs have been a gray area in the past, and teams routinely switch up their signals to guard against it. Among college coaches, Clemson is believed to have been particularly adept at it in the past. Much of the speculation fell to former defensive coordinator Brent Venables, now head coach at Oklahoma. At the Sugar Bowl in 21, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields said he huddled to call plays more often in an effort to prevent Clemson from stealing their signs. Other teams have used curtains, hard-to-read colors, and other methods to discuss play calls. Oh, by the way, no penalty for Clemson or anything like that. Nothing.
Here's the best thing about that never even got brought up about Clemson until now when it's Michigan. But it's funny, who was the ones that said something about Clemson? Who did you just say? Justin Fields. And he was at what school?
Oh, he went to Ohio State.
And now, Ryan, they can beat University of Michigan. And now Michigan State got a little heads up.
I see.
Little birdie.
I see.
Could it have been the same little birdie that was in East Lansing 2 weeks ago by the name of Urban Meyer, who's Ohio State as well? I mean, he was up there. He may have gave a little tip off. Ohio State. This is the realms and the depths that we're stooping to now. Just like Portnoy said, it's good to be king.
Listen, today's the anniversary of little Jose Altuve hitting that home run against Aroldis Chapman to send the Astros to their first World Series. And as he was rounding the bases, of course, everyone remembers this. Don't pull my shirt off. Don't pull my jersey off. I'm wired.
He was thanking
And he ran into the dugout, got out of his gear and put a T-shirt on and came out. And, and they interviewed him. Oh, no, I didn't do anything. No, I just wanted to change my shirt. My wife doesn't like when I take my shirt off in public, so I put a T-shirt on.
Man.
So today is that cheat day, and we got a story on cheating, I guess. That's cheating.
Can I just say
this ain't cheating?
The man is spiritual. He was blessing Jose de Cristos.
Exactly.
Couple of things here, in all seriousness.
Cheater.
I have a hard time at my baseline level here. One, I have a hard time starting with Jim Harbaugh as a cheater. I will not start there as my baseline core.
Yeah.
I am not starting there. Jim Harbaugh is not a cheater. 2, this sign stealing might be even dumber than Cheeseburger Gate. And we used to, Dan Griesbaum is the head baseball coach at Grosse Pointe South.
Griesbaum.
Okay? You know what we did every baseball game and every 3 innings? We changed our signs in high school. We changed our signs. Bunt, steal, take a pitch. If a college coach is dumb enough to have the same signs, same hand signals, 1 week to the next, then I'm sorry. You deserve to be, that's part of the game, my man. I'm sorry for it. Yeah. I'm sorry for your luck. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's definitely the dumbest thing ever. And in football, we did the same thing, Ryan. Like, look, we would come to the game 1 week, you put your belt buckle as a hitch route. Next week, that same play is a slant. Next week, that same play is a go route. Next week, it might be a hitch. You flip around. You keep changing the signs because people, they pick up on it because it's not illegal in football. It's picking up on signs. Whether you see them on TV, whether you see them in the game, whether you pick up on them, you pick up on them. I'll go back to the first comment you made about Jim Harbaugh being an honest guy. Me and him may have a lot of things that we may butt heads on. Him being honest is definitely not one of them. I was there with him in San Francisco. I've known him since he was on the sidelines. My dad was at Michigan. One thing he cares about is his honesty and how he holds himself as a man, his core values and his core principles. Being honest is by far one of them. I was in San Francisco. I could never imagine, like the things in which how we talked about honesty and being truth, your truthful form, being true to who you are, your character. These are conversations that he would have on a regular basis with grown-ass men. I can only imagine what he's instilling into these college kids. So him cheating, far-fetched.
This report basically has nothing in it. I mean, it says that sign stealing is not prohibited, and whether the NCAA believes Michigan was using staffers or others who may be loyal to the program is unknown. What do you mean? You don't even know what you have? You're just throwing this allegation out there, and you don't even know what you have?
Yahoo needed some action today.
Like, honestly, there's not one thing in here that gives any sort of teeth to any sort of cheating whatsoever. It's a whole big nothing burger. This is literally, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. It's all nothing. The NCAA investigating something that's not a crime, but is a crime, but there's no penalty for, and we don't know who was in the stands, whether it was a staffer or somebody else. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Period.
It's a compound of dumb things, because I'm still trying to figure out all the things that we know about Ohio State, all the things that we heard about Alabama, LSU, all these SEC schools. I come from information of just playing with guys that had stories, all this stuff going on. But Michigan, the things you can find on Michigan, pay for a hamburger, somebody was coming in and whatever else, operating outside the hours when it's COVID and nobody knew what the hell the hours are. And now this, what is the hard on for the University of Michigan?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But we're about to find out what it is. We'll do that next.
Nothing ever came out when Alabama won 6 titles.
Isn't it something? Isn't it something? Yeah, guys, lots to get to. I'm going to hear from Dispo momentarily. Okay, Braylon, we'll do that next. We'll talk to John U. Bacon coming up in top of the hour. We'll do that, John U. Bacon. But first, a message from Dispo.
Dispo, your local plug, and now open until midnight in Romeo, Michigan's largest cannabis mall. Over 12 locations around the state, so they're everywhere you are. 21 and up, you got to be. But this is the best place to get your cannabis, no matter how you like to consume it. Whether it's flower, whether it's oil, whether it's edibles, they got it for you. They got the best brands, they got the best product, and they got the best people. Go to Dispo Romeo. Tell Riley with a Y. I said, hey.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Bullseye Event Group. Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed 5, and it's always a bash. Starts at 5:30, goes until game time. The official Lions tailgate party back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets online today, bullseyeeventgroup.com, bullseyeeventgroup.com. Win some from Woodward Sports today as well. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, follow us on IG, direct message Lions VIP. We will talk some Lions football today with our good friend Brian Wacker from the Baltimore Sun. He's the Ravens beat writer there. We'll talk to John U. Bacon coming up at 3 o'clock if you're watching live, 45 minutes from now if you are not watching live. Let me give you the Big Ten Conference statement on this. Late Wednesday afternoon, the Big Ten Conference and the University of Michigan were notified by the NCAA that the NCAA was investigating allegations of sign stealing by the University of Michigan football program. The Big Ten Conference has notified MSU and future opponents. The Big Ten Conference considers the integrity of competition to be the utmost importance and will continue to monitor the investigation. The conference will have no further comment at this time. Braylon Edwards, again, the stupidity, the hypocrisy, the dumbness, the idiocy of the NCAA showing its colors. They are out to get Jim Harbaugh. And again, if you can't beat him, you said, if you can't beat him, try to dig something up and make something out of nothing. This is the second NCAA investigation that's doesn't even carry a penalty.
It's the stupidest thing too, and to me, it's two entities working together, and I'll get into that. It's Ohio State's NCAA, two things that want him down, and they always work together. Like Ryan, this reminds me of that you know what it is? It's that jealous girl that can't get with you. So because she can't be the one to be with you, she's gonna spread these rumors and spread these lies. Because what she's trying to ultimately do, she's trying to ruin your reputation, and that's what you're trying to see from the NCAA. They can't get Jim Harbaugh. They can't pin him down to anything. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep taking little minor shots at his reputation, and hopefully maybe it costs him a 5-star. Hopefully maybe it causes a recruit or two to end up coming to University of Michigan. Maybe it caused Jim Harbaugh to say, damn, if I have to keep dealing with this BS in college, maybe I should take myself and go to the NFL. This is what you're doing. They're trying to ruin the rep and cause you to sweat a little bit. But one thing Jim Harbaugh does not do, he does not sweat. He does not sweat. That's all this is. You try to ruin a man's character or ruin the school's integrity. You keep them in the positive light. The Big Ten has sent out notes to future opponents saying, beware. Get with that BS. Come on. Really, that's taking place in Ann Arbor. You guys have been complaining about our schedule for 3 years. Now we're spying on people. Who the hell are we spying on?
Well, whether it's MSU or whether it's Ohio State, I would not put Ryan Day's fingerprints all over this.
No.
That's what it feels like to me is Ryan Day put his fingerprints on this somehow because, again,
he was the coach of Justin Fields.
Michigan.
Yeah.
And he has some experience with this dating back to what happened in the 21 game with Clemson.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And Braylon, you alluded to this, and Maz, if you want to get in on this too. If I'm Jim Harbaugh for a second now, why do you want to deal with this? Yeah. Like, I never anticipated Jim Harbaugh really opening that door to go back to the NFL, but after all this nonsense, and that's what it is, folks, it's total nonsense. Why wouldn't you go to the NFL? Michigan is going to have, perhaps, more people drafted in this single draft in 2024 than any other single school in the history of the NFL draft. It might not be all first round players, but from 1 to 7, they might have more players drafted in this 2024 draft than any one school in the history of the NFL draft. You think they need signs? Do you think they need to steal your signs? And if they do, that is, to me, gamesmanship, to be honest with you.
And the problem with that is you look at it is with Jim Harbaugh going back to the NFL, they picked the fight with the wrong person. And the reason why, they didn't know that Jim Harbaugh was stubborn. They didn't know that Jim Harbaugh would stay at Ann Arbor just despite their faces because he's running a clean program. So he doesn't have to worry about eventually tripping up like some people do in other places. That's not going to happen. Oh, so you want to play the ruin my name card. Well, since we're doing it the right way, all our kids are good. We keep beating everybody else's ass. I'll just stay here and keep whooping ass and keep having you look petty. And the more and more you little drop these sprinkles of pettiness, the more and more you look like an entity that is not needed. And that's exactly what the NCAA is. No one needs them.
Hey, Maz, the other night we're watching baseball, right? And I can't wait for that 5 p.m. baseball game today. I love a good day baseball. But in Arizona, they hit 4 homers in 1 inning the other day, right?
Yes.
What do you think was going on there? You think that the I forgot who they were playing, the Dodgers?
They played the Dodgers.
You think the Dodgers were tipping their pitches? You think the Dodgers were to hit 4 home runs in 1 inning?
They had the guy down there. Baseball's different, man. It's been rumored since the 30s that people are sitting in center field with binoculars and stuff like that and stealing signs. It's happening. That's baseball. Football, go back to Spygate and Bill Belichick. What the Patriots did, I think it was the Bengals practice that they were looking at.
Jets.
They had videographers at practices. This is not that. This ain't that. This isn't Spygate. And if they did have somebody that, let's say, is a season ticket holder, that's what do they call the ones that give the money? The big donors.
Donors.
The big donors.
Yeah.
And someone wants to, be and get in more with the program. Sure, I'll go sit in Columbus, or I'll go sit in Happy Valley and see what signs they hold up. I'll take pictures of that.
Listen.
But everyone sees it, is what you said earlier. Those are cards that they're holding up. You don't like it, get in a damn huddle and call a play like you used to.
Here's the thing. If Michigan was now winning somehow and they were winning, they were going undefeated, and you look at their roster, Ryan, and you just hit the nail on the head, and their roster wasn't up to snuff. If they had a roster full of guys that you look around and be like, that's a bunch of guys that are second-tier, third-tier players, or they got some guys on offense, man. They struggling. How are they winning games, or how did they know exactly when to call that play? You can understand it. Jim Harbaugh has had the best rosters that he's ever had in these last 3 years. They've gotten better. Look at the talent that they have on the defensive side of the ball. Look how they fly around. Finally, they fly around like an SEC team faster than the Ohio State Buckeyes now. Look on the offensive side of the ball. They punish people with the offensive line. The quarterback play, although it's been cerebral, they don't need to do that. This is the era where cheating is far, far, far from what's on the agenda in Ann Arbor. Far from that.
This screams to me of Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm with you.
In some sort of, Ryan Day is out there yelling at Lou Holtz. 88-year-old Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
Between Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, and Greg Schiano, who is the head coach at Rutgers, formerly of Ohio State, this has that written all over it to me. Because Ryan Day cannot beat Michigan. Ryan Day cannot beat Jim Harbaugh. Ryan Day will not beat Jim Harbaugh. And that little crybaby over there in Columbus, he's got some sort of something involved in this, in my opinion.
And think about
little crybaby.
Blackbeard.
Oh God, go dye your beard, bro.
Exactly. Like the fact he dyes his beard is let you know that he's a guy that you want to always question. But I've been in those rooms with Lloyd, like, man, you just sitting around and you're hearing coaches talk about other coaches and talk about things and talk about stories and how things happen. This is after I played at Michigan, of course. I'm like in on the know, and you're like, wow, like that coach did that, or this coach acts like that. These coaches are nothing but big kids. They're big kids. They're petty. They're jealous. They do things like that. Look at Phil Fulmer. Hated Michigan so much that he voted him 7th in the coaches poll just so they had to share the national title. Yeah. Come on, man. Like, these are the things that these coaches do. They go behind your back and talk about you when they go in living rooms to talk to your parents. Like, you don't want to go up there with this guy. This is what they do at that program. This is the type of things they do. I know it sounds far-fetched to the fans. Like, Ryan Day's not calling NCAA and doing things like that. Yes, Ryan Day is calling NCAA or calling his buddy who's connected to this, right, who's connected to that, and that connection is the NCAA. I guarantee you, what Ryan said, that algorithm isn't too far off.
Just drop the mic there. Really, you guys have said it all.
True.
It's a joke.
There's one more thing I feel like we need to say here. One more thing.
I'm rested. It's all
you ready?
Now, brother.
You ready?
Yeah.
If you thought Michigan was going to win by 40 this week, you can now go ahead and make that 50 or 60. They are going to take this out on the Spartans. Michigan State is in for a world of hurt. I thought State could keep it within 40. I'm raising that to 60 now. I mean, there is going to be no let up.
I actually want to watch the game now. I want to watch the game now.
I'm actually going to the game this weekend. I didn't want to.
I thought you weren't going.
I wasn't going. My wife has pleaded with me. We got to go meet the girls. We're going to go sit down. Good friend of ours gave us tickets and parking. It's the last place I want to go to, but I'm going to go. I'm going to sit there.
It's going to be fun now.
I guess maybe I can leave at halftime then is what you're telling me, right?
I think the fun starts in the third quarter.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think the fun starts in the third quarter when they just put their foot on the collective throat of Michigan State.
And now this is one of those good games, Ryan. We're trying to get who the Heisman. This is one of those. This is one of those times to have a great game for J.J. McCarthy.
Oh man,
this is a great setup for J.J. McCarthy to have one of those games. 355 yards, 4 touchdowns, 81% efficiency. It's a rival. It's at your rival's hometown. Nobody cares that it's Michigan State and they suck. When you're looking at it as a Heisman voter, it was a rival. It was on the road. Put numbers up. These are those games.
How's the weather going to be on Saturday? How's the weather going to be?
It's going to be okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. It might be some rain, but it'll be out of there, I think.
It'll be prime for 400 passing yards.
Okay.
That's right. Oh, my God. Guys, we're going to get back into this top of the hour in about 30 minutes. We'll talk to John U. Bacon. We'll switch it up, talk a little Lions and Ravens next with Brian Wacker of the Baltimore Sun. We'll do that next, but first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys. Big Boy, you know they get the best burger in town and a great chicken sandwich to boot. Let's start you off with their brand new bacon pretzel burger. And if you want chicken, they got the Dolly chicken sandwich and Bob's hot chicken sandwich if you like your chicken spicy. And those French fries, that's the best part of the meal right there, besides dessert. You got to load them up. You got the chili cheese fries. You got the loaded baked potato fries. And dessert, you got it. The Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake and the funnel cake fries and the best shakes in town. Only at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football, K-8, that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and so much more. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so go to the academyofwarren.net, that website again, academyofwarren.net.
I believe we've been inconsistent, up and downs. We've been showing glimpses of what we could be, and we've been showing where it's like what we've been doing, like where the offense went. We just got to be more consistent when we're doing good, and driving the ball down the field and scoring points, and we'll go from there.
Look, Lamar Jackson got the big contract in the offseason. He is playing winning football. The Ravens, one of the best teams in the NFL right now, sitting at 4-2. They've upgraded at wide receiver. Their defense is kind of like the Baltimore Ravens defense that we've known for the last 2 decades. Number 2 overall in total defense right now, the Baltimore Ravens defense. And Bray, we talk about it all the time. Does a good offense beat a good defense? Lions 3rd-ranked total offense. Ravens second-ranked total defense. They come after the quarterback too. They can get you. This is going to be a big game for the offensive line of Detroit.
Hey, they definitely get after they definitely get off the quarterback as well. I mean, this is John Harbaugh. This is the nuts and bolts of what the Baltimore Ravens have been since he's been the head coach. They get after the quarterback and they play good defense. Hadn't been playing good defense really up until this year. Defense playing much better than I thought they would be. Lamar Jackson is playing well though. He's playing well. He's playing much better in the red zone. And we talked about it. If he hasn't had all these drops by these receivers who, for all these weapons that they added, the Odell Beckham, they added him, Rashad Bateman's back, all these weapons that they're supposed to be in the wide spot, including Mark Andrews, these guys aren't playing ball for this guy right now. Zay Flowers, the rookie, is actually the only one playing ball on the offensive side. So, I'm not sold on the offense. I'm sold on Lamar. He's playing much better from the pocket, but that's another aspect that I think is going to have to change because he doesn't do the old things that Lamar used to do. He doesn't get outside. He's trying to pass from the pocket, and that's why I think he's vulnerable, especially with no run game in the defensive line of the Detroit Lions.
They played a lot of close games, too.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 of their 4 wins were one-score games, and they lost a one-score game. They should have won that Pittsburgh Steelers game, the game they lost 17-10. They should have won that game. So in 6 of their games, 4 of them were one-score games. They won 3 of them and lost 1 of them. But this is a football team that so much is expected of them because of the contract. I think it's kind of put up or shut up time for Lamar Jackson this year, and that's a crowded AFC. Baltimore's got to really find their way in this AFC, and they just haven't been able to do that over the last couple of years, but this is one of those years. I think, and we talk about Jim Harbaugh, this is a big year for John Harbaugh, too. Can he reclaim that AFC North Division? And right now they're at the top.
Yeah, they're at the top of the AFC North right now, and a large part of that is because the Cincinnati Bengals start off slow every year.
But
they
they're
start
coming.
off slow this year, and guess what matters? You hit the nail on the head. They are coming, in words. They're on their way up to get the Baltimore Ravens. Ryan, I just took a quick snapshot of the games because I watched the Ravens a little bit, but not a lot. I've been watching the Lions so much, and I've been watching the 49ers and the Jets. Those are 3 teams that I'm really watching. They beat the Texans before the Texans really figured out who they were. They beat the Bengals barely when the Bengals were playing awful football. They beat the Colts. They lost to the Colts, who are not a good football team. They beat the Browns with no Deshaun Watson, and then they beat the Steelers. They lost to a Steelers team that we don't believe is a good team, and they're coming from London. When I look at that schedule, when I assess it like that, as opposed to Lamar Jackson, the star quarterback, and that defense of Ray Lewis and all the guys they've had in the past, when I just look at it this year and I look what the Lions have, the Lions should dominate this Baltimore Ravens team. I understand it's in Baltimore, but the Lions, in my estimation, are a much better team than the Baltimore Ravens are right now.
Hey, Gus
Edwards.
Gus Edwards and Justice Hill aren't going to kill you.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's the guy you got to hold. And 2 years ago, I think they held him to under 60 yards combined on the ground, Lamar Jackson, when he was here in Ford Field. And, of course, we got beat by the bad call by the refs and, of course, the long field goal by Justin Tucker. That defense is for real, and that special teams. They get the best kicker in the game. If it's a 3-point game, man, it's coming down to it. They have the edge.
You talk about that defense, and obviously the Lions have so many resources in their offensive line. Look at what Penei Sewell has been able to do this year. 525 straight blocking snaps without allowing a sack. That is incredible, and I believe the 2 pressures that he allowed this year was when Taylor Decker was out, when he moved to the left side. This guy, we always saw, during draft time, and we keep an eye on Aiden Hutchinson and Walker and Thibodeau. With this guy, who do you keep an eye on?
Micah.
It's Micah Parsons. Look, this is a gold jacket right here. This guy right now is 22 years old, something like that.
23, just turned it.
He is on a track for a gold jacket. You have got yourself a rock star, my friend. And this guy, it starts with this guy here on the right side.
Definitely starts with this guy on the right side. And congratulations. He's expecting a second child. I do believe I did see that. He's expecting the second child. He's expecting a daughter, so congratulations to Big Penei. So you're talking about a guy drafted at 19, started playing at 20 years old when he got to Detroit Lions, man, and started figuring out. He is one of those studs. Ryan, when you're looking at the big guys on the edges, one on the ends, you're talking about the right tackle, left tackle. When they start getting those type of stats, whether it's Trent Williams and he doesn't have any sacks, or whether it's on the right side, Penei Sewell doesn't have any sacks, that means he is the man at his position. I said, okay, I saw it. Here we go. Let's go.
That's right. No
I
doubt.
said this 9 times.
Oh, not good stuff. Guys, let's go to the phone lines. Bring in Brian Wacker from the Baltimore Sun. He's a Ravens beat writer. Brian, thanks so much for the time, my friend. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Hey, Brian.
Absolutely. Hey, look, it's the game of the week, and for us Lions fans, we're not used to being involved in the game of the week over the years, and this is the third time this year that the Lions are involved in this. I'm just curious, how the rest of the league, how the rest of the country views what's happening here in Detroit, because we're all pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I think, look, certainly the Ravens view them as, frankly, the best team that they have seen to this point in the season. And that's really all around, from obviously the Lions' potent offense to what is, a very, very good defense. The Ravens know, for example, going against that Lions offensive line will be very difficult with the running game. The Ravens running game, that is. So, yeah, they have their work cut out for them this week, and they seem to be fully aware of that.
Definitely going to be a fun game, Brian. Before the season, I had this circled as an L for the Detroit Lions. Now I'm in a space where, man, it's anybody's game this coming Sunday. But my question is, how was that offense working with Todd Monken? I know Todd Monken was brought in this year replacing Greg Roman so that he can really get Lamar Jackson going, really kind of hold him down in the pocket. What do you think about what Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson have been able to accomplish so far this year?
Look, we've seen Lamar be more accurate than he's ever been at any point in his career. That said, this is a team that last week struggled to find the end zone, struggled in the red zone, even though they came into the game against the Titans as one of the best red zone teams in the NFL. They couldn't put it in the end zone. And of course, that's problematic against the Lions team that scores a lot of points. So, look, at this point of the season, 6 games in, they view the offense still as a work in progress. We asked Lamar Jackson about this yesterday. We asked John Harbaugh about this. They view this offense as not really clicking. Even Odell Beckham Jr. Has talked about that. Of course, he's off to a slow start in terms of production. So, to me, this is an offense really that hasn't really entire footing yet. Again, the offense is very different than it was in the past under Greg Roman. You mentioned Todd Monken. We're seeing a lot more motion, a lot more pre-snap motion, a lot more 3 and 4 receiver sets. We're seeing a lot of quick hitting stuff underneath. We're seeing Lamar get rid of the ball faster than he ever has. We've seen him get out of the huddle faster than he has, but it hasn't really materialized in terms of touchdowns. This is a team that is not one of the highest scoring teams in the league, when there was a lot of talk and a lot of hype coming into the season that this would be an explosive offense.
Yeah, sometimes those offenses do take a while to get going. Being in the NFL, I remember Rob Chazinski came to the Browns. It took us a minute to get going, maybe something to the tune of game 5 or 4. Last question for me, Brian. I want to ask you, when you look at the teams matchup, the Baltimore Ravens and Detroit Lions, what is it about the Detroit Lions do you think is going to bother the Ravens the most? And what do you think it is about the Ravens is going to bother the Detroit Lions the most?
I think St. Brown's going to be a problem. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs is potentially going to be a problem for the Ravens. Those are 2 explosive players. Of course, the Ravens have one of the best defenses in the league. But again, they have not seen an offense quite as explosive as Detroit. On the other side of the ball, I think the Ravens defense is probably going to be the biggest problem for Detroit. I mean, look, this is an explosive offense, one of the best in the NFL versus one of the best defenses in the NFL, tied for the league in sacks. Of course, they don't have that traditional 10, 12, 14 sack pass rusher, but Mike McDonald and, the Ravens have mixed it up on defense and caused a lot of confusion, and that's been a problem.
Talking to Brian Wacker from the Baltimore Sun. He is the Ravens beat writer. And Brian, so much talk about, the contract situation last year and into the offseason for Lamar Jackson. Finally got that deal. And you can argue that, they're a couple of dropped passes away from being 5-1 and winning that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. How is it going for Lamar Jackson and these, Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham Jr.? I believe we lost him. I think we lost him.
He'll come back.
He'll come back.
He was trying to move his phone, I think, and he probably hung up on us by accident.
Yeah, potentially.
There we
go. There we go.
There he is. I knew he'd be back.
Brian, I'll just repeat the question, I guess. Just, it feels like a big year for Lamar Jackson, too, on the heels of the contract. And you could argue that there are a couple of dropped passes away from being 5-1. That Pittsburgh game didn't really help him out. How is it going for Lamar Jackson this year, and if there is any added pressure since the signing of the new contract?
Yeah, we've asked about that. He says, look, there is no added pressure. But at the end of the day, to your point, you sign that sort of contract, and there is pressure to perform. And we haven't seen that kind of explosiveness that I think a lot of people would have expected coming into the season. Again, this is an offense that seems to be still finding its footing and trying to, be in sync. There's been a lot of miscommunications. They've talked about that. Odell Beckham's missed a couple of games. Rashad Bateman missed some action. So this is a team that's dealt with a lot of injuries, really on both sides of the ball, offensive line, secondary, and so forth. They're now about as healthy as they've been all year. So I would expect, at some point you've got to move past, trying to say, hey, we're just not in sync yet. Here we are, week 6. At some point, this has to click in a more explosive manner. And this week could be that week. We'll find out. Detroit is, as I said, one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Hey, Brian, let me ask you about John Harbaugh, too. Obviously, here in Michigan, we're big Harbaugh fans.
Say the least.
But this feels like a big year for John Harbaugh, too. Does it not? I mean, 16, 17 years, whatever it is, in Baltimore. We see it with Bill Belichick in New England. We see it with Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. How much longer does it feel like that voice is fresh in Baltimore?
It's a great question. And, John Harbaugh is the third longest tenured coach in the NFL, behind Bill Belichick, behind Mike Tomlin. He's got a couple years left on his contract. Look, I think this is the point. They're at the point, really, where these next couple of years are critical. This is a team that spent more money on offense than any other team in the NFL this season. Of course, a lot of that has to do with Lamar Jackson's contract, but they brought in guys like Odell Beckham. They brought in Nelson Aguilar, a number of other high-priced players on the offensive side of the ball, on that offensive line, guys like Ronnie Stanley and so forth. So this is a team that has spent more money on offense than any other team in the league, and spent the second most money on both sides of the ball than any team in the league, behind just the Jets. So you spend that kind of money, the expectation is a championship. So to me, this is a critical window, these next 2 years, for them to try to get that done. And if it doesn't happen, you do have to wonder, I think, about John Harbaugh's future beyond that point.
Definitely agree with you, Brian. This isn't a question. This is more of a statement. One of the things I miss about playing in the NFL is when you travel to teams, a lot of the cities having good food. And one of the things I miss about coming to Baltimore, man, that Harbor Light downtown, they have all that seafood, all the seafood spots, kind of my ESPN zone and all that kind of stuff. Man, that was one of my favorite trips. We couldn't wait to land and get to the restaurant, go back and have meetings just to go out and have a dinner at another restaurant. So I do miss that food in Baltimore.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the seafood, of course, the crab cakes, the Old Bay.
Yeah.
You know how it is. There's plenty of look, you don't have to tell me. I often book my hotels based on what coffee shops and restaurants
you get it
to the stadium. So, yeah, I get it. I get it.
That's the way to do it. Old vet right there. That's
Thanks,
a vet
Brian.
move right there. Brian Wacker from the Baltimore Sun. Follow him on Twitter at BrianWacker1. Thank you so much, sir. Enjoy the game.
Take care, man.
Thanks,
Brian,
guys.
thanks a lot.
You got it. That's great stuff.
What's Chris Berman call Baltimore? He calls it at the stadium. It's the giant crab cake.
Oh, the giant man. That food is so
that's
good.
Great. Guys, we got to get a break. When we come back, more on the Lions. You'll hear from Aiden Hutchinson. You'll hear from Jared Goff. We'll do that next. And then, of course, coming up in about 15 minutes from now, we will talk to our good friend John Bacon about the Michigan alleged allegations in a Yahoo. You're right, Yahoo Sports Today. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew this weekend for our Michigan State, and Lions watch-along party featuring different special guests and surprises. Tune in on Saturday and Sunday on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel at game time.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. That's what happens when you run a great business. You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC to their already great brand of Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac, located in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 50 years. Buick GMC, Ferndale, Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. Chevy, Cadillac. For more, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Oh, yeah. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. And, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. And subscribe to Woodward Sports, coming up on 55,000 subscribers on this platform. Braylon Edwards, we're going to talk to John U. Bacon coming up in about 10 minutes. I do want to stick with the Lions, if I could. Jared Goff talked about that Ravens defense, too. And again, I think that's one of the key matchups.
Yeah.
What can the Lions offense do without David Montgomery? It appears like they're going to get Jahmyr Gibbs back. Jahmyr Gibbs and Brian Branch back at practice today and looking good. So it appears like Gibbs will be back.
Yeah. Not 100%, though.
Won't have Montgomery. What will they be able to do against this Ravens defense? Here's what Jared Goff had to say about that Ravens defense.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to last week, in how good they are defensively, and two elite linebackers again, really good back end, and obviously a good pass rush leading the league in sacks, or however many they have. They've got a bunch. So yeah, it's a challenge on every level. I wish I could tell you what the weakness was, but I don't know if there is one. We got to, come ready to play. It'll be a challenge. They do mix it up weekly, and so we'll see what they want for us. And as time goes, when you're a good offense, you typically get a wrinkle every week, no matter what type of defense they are. And right now we are a good offense, and expect something that they haven't shown yet, or some certain type of coverage or blitz or wrinkle for us. And we'll react to it and be ready when it comes. Yeah, like I said, they're two elite linebackers, and Hamilton's playing really well. We'll see if Marcus Williams is able to play, but they're really good in the middle. So it'll be a challenge, no doubt, on multiple levels. But it will be ready for it.
hey, I just think about it. Sunday, Sunday we'll be ready. So we'll be ready to welcome those guys here. They playing good ball, but hey, I'm from the show me business, so you gotta show me.
And you heard it from Jared Goff. This is a damn good defense, man. And you look at the guys in this defense, Ryan. There aren't any slouches on the defensive side of the ball. You're talking Marlon Humphrey. You're talking Marcus Williams. You're talking about Kyle Hamilton, the guy that last year a lot of people wanted Detroit, the big safety out of Notre Dame. That defense, those are some guys right there, Pro Bowl players and All-Pro player. They know how to play on that defensive side of the ball. And they know what's expected in Baltimore. But that defense, man, you heard who spoke last, and you heard what Jared Goff talked about. That defense is led by Roquan Smith, who used to be a Bear. Last 3 years in a row, Ryan Ermanni, he's been All-Pro 1. Not All-Pro 2, not All-Pro 3, now maybe Mike Pro. He's been All-Pro 1. And his rookie year, he was All-Pro 2. He's a guy that flies around. He sets the tone. You see him very calm there, but there will be an eye of a storm coming on Sunday as it relates to him. But good, we have the offensive line that we have. I look forward to seeing that matchup with Roquan Smith going against Frank Ragnow.
It's going to be a great battle, guys. And I don't want to skip out on you here, Ryan. I know you're the host of the show, but I want to play a cut from Brian Baldinger. Now, Brian Baldinger.
I don't get paid by the word here.
Please. But it stays with this defense.
We got your back.
Now, Brian Baldinger breaks down tape every week. We know we show it to you. He loves this Lion team. He loves this defense. He mentions a couple of guys. He mentions a Lions linebacker, and he mentions a Ravens linebacker, Brian Baldinger.
They are a top 10 defense right now, legit. But the biggest improvement is amazing, and it's in the run defense. And so they went from the 30th ranked rush defense last year, 30th, to number 1. Not 2, not 3. They jumped in front of the Philadelphia Eagles this past week with what they did to Tampa. They completely shut them down in the run game. Rashad White, didn't matter who ran the ball. Like they are just, and it's not like they've got monsters inside. They don't. But they play so sound. They play with their knees bent. They play with leverage. Alex Anzalone, like you watch him play middle linebacker and put him up against anybody in the league right now. Put him up against, I don't care, Roquan Smith. Put him against C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams. Pick a line, Fred Warner. Pick a linebacker. Alex Anzalone right now is playing as well as anybody in all phases. Doesn't come off the field, plays every snap, tackles well, covers good.
That is as high a praise as anybody could bestow upon Alex Anzalone, I think. Now,
Bam.
I don't have that eye. I don't watch football with that critical eye like that. Is the guy making the tackle or not? I cannot break down the film and show you who's doing what. I'm ill-equipped to be able to do that. But I'll take Baldinger's word for it. I'll absolutely take Baldy's word for it because he is.
He is, and I love Brian Baldinger too. He has that finger like me, so when he's putting his hand up like that, I'm like, my brother.
You know, I noticed that about Michael Strahan this week too.
God.
Michael Strahan's fingers are like this. One goes on top of the other. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, I have.
I never noticed that before last week. One's on top of the other.
He's got it all going.
They purposely had his hands like on the morning show. They purposely have him sit a certain way so he doesn't show that hand. But no, he's hitting all cylinders, and I agree with Baldinger. You heard what I said about him 2 weeks ago. What did I say, man? I said I was high in criticism on this guy. I didn't think that he belonged on his roster, and I apologize for my words because he has definitely turned the tide and he has definitely become that tone setter, much like a Roquan Smith. And excuse me, to the words of Brian Baldinger, better currently than Roquan Smith. He's a tone setter. And you know what I love about great defense that go against another great defense? Let me not say great. Right now, they're really good defenses. You know what I love when they go against each other, Ryan and Maz, is when I was on the Legion of Boom, when I was on the Jets, or when I was on the 49ers. Like, when they're playing against another good defense, you'll have the defensive coordinator, whether it's Mike Pettin, whether it's Ken Norton Jr., they think they're a good defense. They think they're a good defense. What are you going to do to show them that you're better? What are you going to do to put their offense in better situations so that they can dominate that defense? They're really going to take it upon themselves to dominate that offense of the Ravens so that they can be the better defense. I guarantee you, Aaron Glenn, sure as my name was Braylon Edwards, as a former player, he remembers being in those Jet locker rooms and how it is when you're playing another good defense. You want to make sure when the game's over that your defense is truly the best. That's going to be a fight.
No doubt.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Heavyweight fight.
It is. And again, we keep mentioning the Lions have played. This will be their 7th game this year. They've played 3 of them. 3 of the 7 games will have the top billing for the broadcast. You know, obviously the opener against Kansas City with Mike Tirico. They had Burkhardt already for one of the games, Seattle, and now they've got Burkhardt's crew again for the Baltimore game. It's exciting to play.
They'll be at Ford Field a few more times,
and
too.
if the Lions win this game, you know, when they win this game, if they win this game, however you want to characterize it, can you imagine how many more games are going to get flexed? Because if you look at the Lions' schedule from here on out, just take the next couple of weeks. So obviously they play this one against Baltimore, and then Monday Night Football against the Raiders. So that's a nationally televised game. Then they go at the Chargers, which is a 1 p.m. local start for L.A., 4:05 here on CBS. But then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games at 1 o'clock, notwithstanding the Thanksgiving game at 12:30.
They might flex that Charger game to the night game. You don't know.
They might flex that Charger game.
If the Chargers could get going.
Yeah. Well, that's a big if. That's a big ask.
What I love is when things are going right, when you do the things that you're supposed to do, when you win games, when you have athletes that are balling at a high level, the NFL will reward you. All sporting, all brands will. The NFL is no different. Last year, the Lions started taking off. Then they get rewarded with primetime games. Then they start winning on primetime. They started getting games flexed. Then they won 3 in a row. Then what they say, oh, you know what? We're going to appeal the Jameson Williams situation for you, and we're going to knock it from 6 to 4. Then Jameson Williams comes back. When you're winning, so it all starts going in your favor.
I hope so.
Win, baby, win.
No doubt about it.
They owe us.
No doubt about it.
They owe us a lot more than this.
They owe us a lot.
They owe about 7 free wins.
That's right. Hey, guys, let me remind you that we do have a college football pregame show for the Michigan State game. We have that live this Saturday. It's hosted by your Woodward sports favorites, Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and a host of others. It is live this Saturday, 5:30 until 7. They'll take you up until game time. There'll be a live stream of the Michigan State watch party as well. We'll have that at 7:30. So lots going on Saturday. Woodward Sports love of college football. Flannel Sam, Spenny baby. They'll have that for you 5:30 to 7. Now for a word from Swiss.
Yes, Swiss. Do you have football on the brain like us? Of course you do. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year has already been awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com, or as always, give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Are you a die-hard college football fan? To the house! Touchdown! Well, it's your lucky day. Join WSN Spencer Raxter and Flannel Sam this Saturday for the Michigan State pregame show. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel this Saturday and tune in live from 5:30 to 7 p.m.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
It's getting cold outside, so it's time to go to the best place to play golf indoors and practice party play. That's right, 5 Iron Golf, downtown Detroit and Cambria Hotel. Sim rentals, lessons, leagues, bars, and restaurants. Goddamn good food, by the way. Also, they got these brand new TrackMan simulators. You can play any course around the world. I like to play Torrey Pines. You can play whatever you want around the world. And also on Thursdays, that's today, 5 to 7 is the Woodward Sports Golf League. And then You let it roll over into Thursday night football. Tonight, the Jags and the Saints. So come down to 5-Iron Golf. Practice, party, play your way.
This is my kind of day, by the way. Not my kind of fall day.
Like a nice fall day.
A little bit of rain. It's dark out there at 3 o'clock if you're watching live.
It's a good chilly day.
It is a gorgeous fall day in the city of Detroit. This is my kind of fall October day.
Really?
Man. Oh, I love days like this.
If you're home.
I love days like this.
If you're home and you have nothing to do, it is a good day.
Hour number 2 of the program. We'll talk to John U. Bacon momentarily. The guys will let me know when he's up. Let me just kind of recap for you our top story, and it's from Yahoo Sports, Dan Wetzel and Ross Dellinger. They write that the NCAA is investigating Michigan football for alleged rule violations regarding to sign stealing. The first 30 minutes of our show today was about this, so if you want to recap how we feel about it, you could just rewind back to the top of the show. But just to sum it up for you before we get to John Yu, late Wednesday afternoon, the Big Ten Conference and the University of Michigan were notified by the NCAA that the NCAA was investigating allegations of sign stealing by the University of Michigan football team. Teams are normally provided extensive video coverage to scout opponents. At issue, according to sources, is whether Michigan used unnamed individuals to attend games of both scheduled opponents and possible college football playoff opponents in an effort to gather information on the signs they use and to call both offensive and defensive plays. Sign stealing not technically prohibited and is long and had a long and colorful history as part of the game, but it was prohibited in 1994. Two of Michigan's opponents this season told Yahoo Sports that they became aware that Michigan knew their play sign. Sign stealing does not violate NCAA rules unless the team uses in-game electronic equipment. No word on who that was, what that was, or any more information about that, Braylon.
Yeah, Matt Rule over there complaining because we beat up on Nebraska. No, I'm joking. I don't know who it is. Yeah, I mean, it's just fraudulent. Fraudulent situation it's one of those things where Michigan does not need to do any of these things to win the games that they're winning right now. And Jim Harbaugh isn't the type of coach to cheat. He's just simply not. So, a couple teams, who are these random couple teams? Just like that, my favorite word, sources say. Mm-hmm. Sources say. So I'm not buying it. They don't need to cheat to beat these teams. And like you said, it's called doing your homework. There's been many times when I was playing a game in the NFL or at the college level with Michigan where you see something on tape, you see something on film, it's like, oh, you see how he hitched up his pants right there? You see how he touched his shin on that play right there? Like, you can pick up on things, and when you watch games, you pick up things. You pick up on tails. You don't even need to pick up on tails of teams that you're beating by 50 points.
I'm curious to see how Michigan handles this right now. I'm talking about Santa Ono, the Michigan president, and Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director. And what I mean by that is Jim Harbaugh is in line for a new contract. And I'm curious to see if Michigan moves forward quickly with that new contract, because Jim Harbaugh is underpaid by standards of the NCAA. I think he's like the fourth highest paid coach in the Big Ten alone, college football notwithstanding. So I think it would really send a strong signal for Michigan, for Jim Harbaugh, if they get this contract done this week. Now, apparently there'll be an NCAA hearing after the season. And of course, Michigan's still under investigation for the I almost called it Deflate Gate, for the Cheeseburger Gate.
Right.
That will be heard in 2024.
Well, it definitely can happen. If Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh, the president, the athletic director, if they could come up with an extension and you sign that before the season, like you get that done, you make Harbaugh feel good about what he's done for the institution over the last year and a half, last 2 years. You pay him accordingly. You pay him what it's worth. Also, you know what it symbolizes? It symbolizes a united front. Now they can't have guys in the NCAA or people in the NCAA or people in schools trying to separate what they once thought was a divided unison. It was like, oh, well, you got Ward Manuel, you got Jim Harbaugh over there. They haven't spoken in 12 months. Maybe we can divide a wedge. No, it's a united front. He throws out the expression. He gives him what he wants. Boom. Now it's a united front. Everybody's on the same page, including San Antonio. It sends a direct message to the NCAA that we're good over here. So whatever you guys want to come with, all of us are on board and we're ready. Yeah,
and I feel like it's one of those things, too, where, I don't know if Jim Harbaugh was done with the NFL or not after Minnesota's trip last year, visiting the Vikings, but it feels like all of this nonsense, and to me that's what this feels like, is nonsense. Perhaps he does take another look at the NFL. Maybe you do look at Justin Herbert and you say, I'll go coach that guy for a little bit. Maybe you'll get Caleb Williams and you say, I'll get Caleb Williams. Maybe you want to go, J.J. McCarthy, you're going to the Chicago Bears. Maybe I'll take a look at that too, or wherever the case may be.
Home for him.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I believe we do have John U. Bacon. Let's pull him up right now. John U. Bacon, of course, New York Times bestselling author, Michigan historian, on Twitter, on X, as they say, at John U. Bacon. John, how are you? Thanks so much for joining us, my friend.
My pleasure. About the technical issues, we're putting my cell phone horizontally. So.
Yeah, you're doing good. Looking good, John. Looking good. Hair looks good. Makeup looks good. All of it.
Very Kevin Bacon in the 80s.
We put John through his paces.
There you go. Kevin Bacon, John Bacon, like that.
Hey, John, what do you make of this report about the sign stealing in Yahoo? To us, it feels like a whole big nothing again, but you're a lot smarter than we are here.
Well, we don't know a lot yet. We'll start always with that, so we'll see how it plays out. This is the first draft. I read, obviously, Dan Wetzel's typically strong piece in Yahoo, and a few things pop out. One is that stealing signals is not in itself illegal. And they talk about things that are unethical even, and they list a lot of things, and stealing signals is not one of those either. The only question is, did you send people to these stadiums to steal the signals? That's illegal. And did you transmit that electronically? So I could be wrong, but it sounds like more cheeseburgers to me. But so we'll see about that. But I can guarantee you this: somebody at the NCAA hates Jim Harbaugh. That I guarantee.
and that's look, John. That's what it feels like, right? I mean, that's what it feels like, because all of these. I was reading through the report. No, it's not illegal. Bylaw 11.6.1, but there's no penalty for it. I mean, it just feels so really vindictive against this guy.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see what the report says and what they come up with. If they, if Michigan flew people to Rutgers and to Indiana, those seem to be the two most likely coaches to complain about this so far. And by the way, if those are the coaches, man, you just get your butt handed to you in a silver platter, and you're worried about that.
Well,
that's to decide on that point there. But anyway, the rules, if that's what it is, and there'll be a price to be paid. Likewise, the cheeseburgers. But I can tell you two things with considerable confidence. 3. 1, Jim has not got a lot of friends in the media, almost by design. 2, Harbaugh's not got a lot of friends in coaching circles for various reasons. Many of them, I would say, in his favor in terms of advocating for free transfer, advocating for paying the players. These things his fellow coaches did not like. And 3, we know he's got no friends in the NCAA. You add it all together, you got a coach complaining to the NCAA, and of course the media picks it up. I think, again, Wetzel has done a very strong job in this, and Ross Dellinger. I'm finding no fault there whatsoever. But, and when does it come out? The Thursday before the Michigan State game. So it's easy to get paranoid in this business, obviously, and Michigan fans, I'm sure are. But as they say, Ryan, just because you're paranoid does not mean they're out to get you. They might be. I can't tell.
Hey, John, let me ask you about this, because this feels like a big moment, too, for Ward Manuel. Whether there was some conflict in the department between Jim and Ward, this seems like a good time for Ward to kind of say, hey, Jim, let's sign this contract right now here, too. Let's get this.
Like a united front.
Right. Put a united front up and get the contract extension done, make him the highest paid coach in the Big Ten, and move forward that way. Wouldn't that send a strong signal that Michigan is behind Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah, it definitely would, and I'm sure it'd be very welcome from the Harbaugh camp. I've not talked to them about any of this, of course. But yeah, in fact, I would say that one of the sticking points between Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel the last year and a half has been the cheeseburgers. And I mean, Dave Brandon had strengths and weaknesses as an athletic director, as has been documented. But one of the great strengths, and I wrote this at the time, is that when Brandon took over, the first thing he did was dismiss the NCAA Watchgate, Stretchgate business with Rich Rodriguez in fantastic fashion. Pointed out, Michigan plays by the rules. We take this seriously. This seems to be a minor question at best, and went on from there. I thought that was one of his great strengths as an athletic director, and that I'm sure be welcome now with Jim Harbaugh. That is also what held up the contract, by the way, and that's not unrelated. That Michigan wanted to hold up until the NCAA investigation into the infractions, 4 level 2 infractions, and possibly lying. That's debated. They wanted to wait for that to be settled before they gave him a new contract. Once you do that, you're now on the NCAA timetable, which is God knows what, because they took 14 months or more than that to handle Stretchgate back in 2009, 2010. And this thing's already gone on a year and a half and might not be settled until January at the earliest, is the cheeseburgers. So once you do that, then you're hanging your coach out to dry for 2 years based on God knows what at the NCAA. So that was the origin, I think, of the friction between Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel. And this be, as you point out, great point. If they want to make amends here, this is probably a great time to do it.
JU, St. Elmo's, is it coming up? Are we going to be on in a couple months? Like, are we going to meet at St. Elmo's in Indianapolis? I'm just saying. I'm trying to get some good food.
I tell you, that was a great night. And by the way, to watch Braylon hold court, that was fun.
Hey, somebody had to take over for Ham. Ham's usually the one that holds court, so I had to take over for the Hammer. Shout out to Jen Ham, Fox 2. Here's a dumb question with everything going on. Can we consistently expect this from the NCAA now that they know they're trying to ruin the name of U of M or keep them in the light, keep Jim Harbaugh's name in a negative way, keep coming up with little dumb things like this to eventually maybe try to push him away from Ann Arbor and his dominance? I mean, I know it's not going to happen. Like, he's just like me. We're stubborn as hell. But can you see the NCAA trying to do little things like this? I mean, because it just feels like, well, we can't beat you. Well, our friends can't beat you either. So now we're going to try to do, here's a story about this, here's a story about that, and try to take at the integrity of who Jim Harbaugh is.
I think you're already seeing it.
Yeah.
It clearly got leaked very quickly to the media, so we know that. It has to come from the NCAA, not the Michigan side, you'd have to assume. And it has an effect that the thing still lingers. The cheeseburger brown jug question still lingers. Now this one, and this will be part of the story going into Michigan State week. And honestly, it feels like the last gasp stuff from the NCAA. NCAA, by the way, is totally legal for Arch Manning, grandson of Archie Manning, of course, to be entertained by Texas for $250,000 for a weekend.
Exactly.
And I got to tell you, Braylon, I've had some good weekends in my life. I can't ever recall needing $250,000 to do whatever I did.
At least now when I was in high school.
Thank you. That must have been one hell of a weekend. I don't even know how you get there. So, I mean, that stuff they're not even looking at. They're not looking at grades. They're not looking at UNC's, academic fraud. None of that they care about. So this they care about. So great question there. And yeah, it's already happening is my take.
Hey, John, last question for you. Do you think between the cheeseburgers, between this allegation here on the sign stealing, you think Jim Harbaugh just said, you know what, screw this. I'm going back to the NFL. I'll go coach J.J. McCarthy wherever he gets drafted next year, or Caleb Williams, or Justin Herbert. Screw this. I'm out of here.
Great question. And I can tell you with considerable confidence that the look at the NFL 2 years ago and with the Minnesota Vikings a year and a half ago, and Denver Broncos looking at him this year, and given how Sean Payton's doing, maybe they wish they did higher, I guess. Not a great year for him. It was two things. It was the NCAA investigation and Michigan holding up his contract based on that. So it wasn't just one thing. It was the two things, as I understand it. But that would be, is it going to repeat itself here? If it does, I cannot discount your idea that that might be the result. I don't think it's going to be, but I can't say no. So here you go again. Watch out.
All right, we'll see what happens. Hey, John, thanks so much for the time, man. We really appreciate it,
Thanks,
as
John.
always. And if you missed the top of the show today, I said the people that should really feel bad about this report coming out is Michigan State, because instead of winning by 40, I think that number goes to 50 or 60 now this weekend.
I can tell you this, there was Braylon in the audience, by the way. I've been to a few events where I'm speaking at Meyer Corporation and other places about this game. And, man, I'm seeing a whole lot of Braylon Edwards this week, and I think we know why.
That's right.
I've never seen a receiver.
Hey.
By the way, Braylon, those were interceptions that you turned into touchdowns, the freshman quarterback. I have never seen any receiver take over the game the way I saw you take over that game way back when. So, seen a lot of you this week.
I appreciate that. I'm not going to tell Chad you said that. I promise not to. I'm just joking. He's admitted it too,
He's
so
a
don't
hell of
feel
a
bad.
quarterback and a hell of a guy, but that was a freshman year.
He's got a Subway commercial for Jesus Christ.
He's got a Subway commercial now.
Come on. He can at least send me free subs for a year.
Oh, God. John, you
It's all
enjoy
good
the
seeing you,
game
John.
this
Appreciate
weekend,
you,
my
John.
friend.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so
Thanks,
much
John.
for doing this. On
See you
Twitter,
guys.
on X, at John U. Bacon. And don't forget, guys, Michigan State will have the live stream, the watch party with us here at Woodward Sports at game time until whenever it's over. Michigan State live game day watch party starts Saturday at 7:30. Watch with us right here, featuring special guests and plenty of surprises. All right, guys. Maz, do we have a show update?
We do.
What's the show update?
We have the man that broke this story, Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
Will be joining us in, 12 minutes.
Great. We'll talk to him coming up in about 12 minutes. But first, a message from Feldman.
All right, I was so locked into that interview. Let me get you to that. Because right now, it's time to get you down to Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. That is Feldman. Feldman Auto, go to feldmanauto.com. 18 locations they have. That means there's a Feldman dealership near you. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience. It is called the Feldman Advantage. You want to take advantage today. Feldman Automotive, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey guys, Outdoor Equipment Company has it all for you. Buy it, sell it, rent it. We don't want you to sell it. We want you to buy it and rent it. 0% financing. Outdoor Equipment Company is the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers. Liberty trailers, Generac generators, Snow X plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company, again, has it all. 0% financing delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com. Again, quick programming note. Ross Dellinger, the guy that broke the story on Michigan being investigated by the NCAA, along with Dan Wetzel. Ross Dellinger will join us coming up in about 10 minutes from now. What time, Maz?
Yeah, about 12 minutes.
3:36,
Yep.
sometime around there. All right, in the meantime, we're going to get back to the NFL. We'll go around the league, then get back to college football here. Bouncing around here. Lots of news on this Thursday show here.
Thursday night football tonight, guys, in case you forgot, like I did almost. The Saints are home tonight. They're bringing in the Jags. This could be one of the better Thursday night matchups of the year. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think this is a good chance for us to see some offense. Trevor Lawrence going against Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara. Yeah, Derek Carr's playing.
No, is Trevor Lawrence playing?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Well, he got hurt last week.
Yeah, he's fine. He's playing.
Okay, very good.
Of course he's playing.
He's
and
gonna test
Alvin
it out.
Kamara's playing.
Say what? What'd you say?
He's going to test it out before the game starts. So he'll basically be a game-time decision.
Okay.
Alvin Kamara's playing. So's Jamal Williams, back from the IR. Our old friend Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
So I like the Saints tonight. They're laying 2 points. Jags coming off the win in London. What do you guys got?
See, I'm already a new Lions fan, but I'm already carrying that Lions energy, man. I don't care about anybody that used to be here. I care about people here now. So Jamal Williams is no longer my friend. He is my enemy. He's in the same conference. No, we wish him well, and especially his first game back. Shout out to Jamal, Mr. Anime here in Detroit. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Like it's one of those games that you look at it instantly, man. It's like, the Jags, Calvin Ridley's out. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been playing with much to Ryan's happiness because he's been calling it. But I'm like, I just feel like I think Derek Carr is going to have a game. Alvin Kamara might have one of those flashbacks of his first 2 years. I think Trevor Lawrence will find his receivers because, look, Doug Peterson has to be looking. And he has to see that his quarterback has not looked the same that he looked last year, especially in the last 10 games, which he was the number one quarterback, even over Derek Carr in terms of QBR. So he's got to get his quarterback back playing to that because the NFL happens fast. It may be week 6 now, and it may be a lot of time left in the season. You'll blink your eye and you'll be out the playoff race. So they want to stay ahead, especially in the division that they should easily win. So I agree with you, man. I think you're going to see Doug Peterson really try to get his guy going this week. And I think on the other side, you're going to see desperation. Like Derek Carr is like, damn, I left Las Vegas to come here. It's not going right. He did have 352 yards passing last week and a touchdown.
Just can't get it over the end zone. Can't get it in the end zone.
He can't even get over the 50.
I just think it's a good game for the Saints. It's indoors. It's at Superdome. There's always, when you're in the Superdome, there's always a chance that it's going to be a good game. And I think it's a high-scoring game. We gave you the over last night. I'm telling you, take the over again tonight.
It's one of those things, too. The New Orleans Saints, to me, are a total enigma.
They are.
Because I thought that would be the clear favorite to win the NFC South Division. Right now, the 3-3, along with Tampa at 3-2, and I forget who the Atlanta Falcons are 3-3. Everybody's kind of in the mix there in the NFC South. Somebody's going to be setting themselves apart at some point. Carolina 0-6, they're out of it. But you've got Atlanta and New Orleans and Tampa in there, all with 3 wins. That'll be something. I see the New Orleans Saints as the best team in that division when it's all said and done. I like their quarterback. I like their running back situations with Kamara and Williams. And, of course, look at their wide receivers with Chris Olave and Michael Thomas. Notwithstanding, that defense is solid as well. So I really like New Orleans as a team. I know they're not off to a good start, but I like New Orleans a lot.
Tampa and the freaking Falcons play this week, right? So the Tampa Falcons, you get one of those guys to drop a game, want to move ahead. I feel like this. I feel like when it comes to the Saints, everybody's always remembering about the old Saints and Drew Brees that they could never let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fully take over. Even when Tampa Bay was winning Super Bowls, they were still losing to New Orleans Saints. So now I believe you look at that Bucs team. Sometimes you got to look at talent. They got some talent on that team. Baker Mayfield's playing well. They got Chris Godwin. He's a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Mike Evans, he's a Pro Bowl. He's an All-Pro wide receiver. And on defense, Antoine Winfield is about as good as they come at the safety position. So they still got some guys. And the Saints, I got to see it consistently.
Yeah, I know. I don't disagree with you at all about
Saints,
that.
It's always like, when 2 games, they might be good and they lose 3.
Hey, guess who's coming back off the IR for the Arizona Cardinals? Check this out.
Oh.
Look at this.
Look at this guy.
Is it little man?
Look at him.
Kyler
Look
Murray.
at there.
Kyler Murray.
Did he get shorter?
So he's got, a window of 2-3 weeks to now he comes off, so the window opens up. So he's got 2 weeks before he can be activated.
Yeah, but I say Let the guy play. And if you don't want to, you got to see what you got, right?
You're spending $175 million guaranteed. Yes, you want to see what the baby tank has.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he shows you something, just kind of like how we talked about people growing up, like if he shows you something over the stretch game for the last 9 weeks of the season, he showed you something, then maybe you're looking like, you know what? Maybe we don't have to go out and draft one of those quarterbacks. We got a coach that people believe in.
Yeah.
He's got these guys working harder.
Gannon.
Maybe that coach got to Kyler Murray, and maybe Kyler Murray and that coach can work together. So when you have quarterbacks that are 1 overall, you still got them. It's like that's the good thing about him is you can see if they can turn that corner. See, like Zach Wilson, it seems like he's kind of turning the corner.
Speaking of another quarterback that's not really playing great, it's Russell Wilson. Dan Graziano of ESPN yesterday put this tweet out saying that he thinks the Denver Broncos will cut bait with Russell Wilson before they have to pay him his next big payday, and then, of course, draft their quarterback of the future.
They absolutely have to cut him. I don't see how they pay him, I believe, something about $37 million on February 1st or whatever it is, whatever the date is, March, when the league New Year starts in March.
2025.
Yeah, March. They have to do it at the end of this season before the 2024 league year starts or something like that to get rid of him. They cannot pay this guy that much.
It's a huge cap hit, though.
Got to get rid of him. They will never win a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson.
This is true, but
not going to happen.
But you're talking about what it will cost them to take that hit in 2 years and get rid of him. If you're paying the guy that much, you might as well play that guy for another year. And not without having to take, you know how much money you're going to be on the hook for if you cut ties with Russell Wilson before
Maybe
next season?
Maybe they can find a sucker to pay half.
The sucker was them.
Well, they can find another sucker. They were a sucker.
The sucker was
Seattle's
them.
laughing. I mean, Seattle's laughing all the way to the bank.
All the way to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Back-to-back
So the
years.
Broncos could look to designate Wilson as post June 1st release for the first few days of the 2024 league year. Denver would be on the hook if the implications of a post June 1st release. Denver would be on the hook for Wilson's $39 million salary in 24, a $35 million dead cap in 24, and a $49 million dead cap in 25 if they release him after June 1st. So before June 1st, he's out of there.
Yeah.
So now
negates this contract.
So now it just comes to the point where you're releasing before them, but now you'll just be like very upset that you wasted those 3 first-round picks. Like that's kind of
it is what it is, right?
Yeah. At this point, like if you ain't getting better, you're getting worse.
Yep, no doubt.
Hey, you know who's getting richer? Roger Goodell. His contract now takes him through 2027, and this guy is pocketing over $70 million. Not too bad. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I do.
I got nothing.
$700 million. I'm sorry.
$700 million.
$700 million for his lifetime, 20 years at the NFL.
Yes.
I got nothing.
He just got a $62 million yearly bump. He used to make $40 million.
$700 million.
But
in 20 years.
If you think about it,
he's the CEO.
He's the CEO of a corporation that makes $10 to $12 billion a year. Okay?
Yeah.
So if there's another company out there that has a revenue of $10 to $12 billion every year, show me what that CEO makes, and I guarantee you it's in line with that. Or maybe even a little bit more than that.
Wow.
You know?
I agree, but isn't it the job of the CEO to grow that? And here's where that comes. Isn't it the job of the CEO to grow the brand, change things, spice it up, make you better, et cetera? And to your point, seems like the NFL
make you better. The ratings are at an all-time high.
No. I'm not going against you. You so used to be going against you. I'm on your team.
Easy fella.
I'm actually on your team.
I'm just saying, like,
easy big fella.
The money's gone up. The viewership has gone up. Like the adjustment rate is going up.
Goes up.
Like they're in bed with Disney. Like they're in
TV
bed with
deals
everybody.
Have gone up.
Like female viewership has gone up. Kids viewership has gone up.
Who's presided over those massive TV deals that just got done?
RG. And I ain't talking RG3.
Yeah,
Roger
Goodell.
Yeah.
Hey, the Falcons released a guy that they drafted in the 4th round a couple years ago.
Ooh.
And it's a safety.
Who is this?
And he's had a bunch of interceptions. His name is Jalen Hawkins. He's been released a couple days ago, so he is out there now as a free agent. Trade deadline's coming up. Lions have been signing, players here and there. Is this a guy you think that they would look at? He's had some good history in the league. but the Falcons let him go. So, I don't know. Figured I'd throw it out there.
I mean, everybody, Maz, and I love you to death, every player that gets cut, Maz wants to bring here to Detroit.
I do. I'm a fan. I've told you that. I'm the worst. You know, if Kyler Murray was out there, I'd say, let's get him, even though I got Jared Goff.
Got Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, let's get him. Forgot Teddy
Bridgewater.
Come on, man.
Murray.
I'm the ultimate fanboy when it comes to stuff like that. That's all.
Yeah, not fair. It's funny as I used to be that way as well, but like now watching kind of how Brad Holmes has built this team, how Dan Campbell's built this team. Like I used to be, as soon as you hear a free agent, it's like, oh yeah, bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in.
I don't even know who Jalen Hawkins is, to be
bring
honest.
him in. But now you watch the way this thing has been built. I'm like, when I see you, I'm like, I'm good. We're good on him. We're good on him. No, we're good on him.
Parker?
I'm pretty sure Jalen Hawkins just got signed to the Chargers like last night.
Okay, good.
Look at that.
God damn it. See, the Chargers got him.
Oh, man.
Chargers need him
and
Jesus.
Him, man.
I'll be damned.
Did they need him
Thanks,
or what?
Parker.
They needed him for sure.
I'll be damned.
Oh,
we
God.
blew it. Another one.
Guys, let's take a break right here. We'll track down Ross Dellinger. We'll do that coming up next. But first, a message from the Hamlin Pub.
Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Join Woodward Sports for their Lions post-game show live from Hamlin Pub on Tinkin Road. I said it right this time. This Sunday, Stick, Maz, and more will be there to break down the Lions versus Ravens game. We will see you for our live show from Hamlin Pub on Tinkin Road this Sunday. Experience your new favorite pub for all things sports and go to Hamlin Pub where everyone, and I mean everyone, is a regular.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew this weekend for our Michigan State, and Lions watch-along party featuring different special guests and surprises. Tune in on Saturday and Sunday on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel at game time.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. You can drink it. You can also live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. So go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas for that $100,000 Vegas getaway.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube, we say hello. Hit that subscribe button and, of course, the like button. Our top story today, as it is around college football, it came from Yahoo Sports, written by Ross Dellinger and Dan Wetzel. And we have Ross Dellinger on the line now, so we'll talk to him about this investigation into Michigan football and possible rule breaking around in-person scouting of opponents. Ross, thanks so much for the time, my friend. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, you know, what can you tell us about this, Ross? The NCAA seemingly has their eye on Michigan. How does something like this, I guess, even come up? I mean, is it another coach that says, hey, they've got our signs? How does something like this start?
Yeah, oftentimes that is the case with a lot of, I think, NCAA investigations. Usually they start with a tip from a competitor, from another NCAA school usually, and I'm guessing in this case that's what happened. We we didn't report that because I'm not completely sure on that, but I'm guessing that that's probably what happened here. And I think, and we did write some stuff about previous opponents that Michigan has played and kind of what their coaches have said, and their coaches all did acknowledge that they believed that their signals were compromised, so to speak, during their game with Michigan. So hearing that, leads me to believe that at some point one of those coaches, turned in Michigan for this, or may have caught Michigan or a Michigan staffer at one of their games, scouting. And so it should be kind of made clear to, all your listeners that Stein stealing is not illegal. It happens quite a bit. Coaches, figure out the opponent's signs and know what play is coming. But what is illegal is sending a staff member or any kind of representative of the university to another future opponent's game and in recording the game and basically scouting the game. So in-person scouting of a future opponent was made illegal around 30 years ago. And so that is what is at issue with the investigation.
Is there any indication of who this individual or individuals were that are, I guess, alleged to have been in stadiums of their future opponents?
No, not really. I mean, there's probably a likelihood that it is, support staff members of the university. In a lot of these cases, that is the case. And although a lot of investigations like this sometimes don't even come to light, investigations end and maybe penalties are handed down but aren't necessarily announced. I have heard that this has happened with before with previous schools. You've heard going back years that staff members have scouted teams, whether it's spring practice or whatnot. And if they are caught at those events, they're usually turned in by the school, and you quietly have sanctions and an investigation and then sanctions of some sort that again are often pretty minimal, I think, and don't usually get out. This one obviously is different because we're right in the middle of a season. Number one, number two, Michigan's number 2 in the country, and number 3, it does look like this is more of an elaborate system, potentially by Michigan to scout opponents' games that have maybe happened this system for a little while. From what I understand.
Talking to Ross Dellinger, writes for Yahoo Sports, broke the news today with Dan Wetzel that Michigan is under investigation, the football program, for possible sign stealing. And I think, Ross, for a lot of Michigan fans, on the level of, for lack of a better way to say it, crimes, this one is a little bit of a head scratcher when it comes to sign stealing. I mean, just as part of the article that I read that you guys wrote, listed numerous examples of unethical and unsportsmanlike conduct, but sign stealing is not among them. There's really no penalty for this. So I guess the question is, a lot of Michigan fans would be wondering, is how big of a deal is this?
Yeah, great question. There's probably a lot more serious situations going on in college sports, I would say, than something like this. That said, this is a 30-year-old rule that you can't send assistants or staff members to other games to scout or video the opponent in the opponent's signals, and it's a rule. And if it was broken, especially if it was some elaborate long-term system, then I'm sure in some way it'll be punished. But you're right, we don't really know what the punishment is. And I think in the past there's been the cases that have come up of this have not been really made public. So we don't really know what the penalties will be. It remains to be seen, and we don't really know how long the NCAA's been investigating. I would think on this matter, not that long. This seems to be something rather new within days, because the NCAA just now, last night, basically yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, alerted the Big Ten.
Ross, Braylon Edwards here. Here's two dumb questions for you. One, if never before have they reported an issue, then why was this particular issue reported? And not only reported so fast on Jim Harbaugh, and then two, over the last couple of years, they've said so much about the schedule that is what the University of Michigan Wolverines have dealt with being so easy, so simple, so simplistic. And then also you talk about how bad the Big Ten is. If this is the case, then why would Jim Harbaugh need to worry about sending people to scout these games? And then if that's the case, why has no other case come out like the Ohio State, random enough, against Clemson?
Yeah, I think to answer your first question about why this has come out publicly and so quickly is that, once the NCAA, which it felt the need to inform the Big Ten, because we're in the middle of the season, I think is why they did it. Once you do that, once the NCAA tells another entity like the Big Ten, and then the Big Ten in turn informs all of Michigan's future opponents, that right there is a lot of people that know, right? And so at that point, that gets out pretty quickly, and that's exactly what happened last night. Is that once you tell that many people, and I think the NCAA felt that they should tell that many people because of the evidence they had, and because they're in the middle of a season. This is kind of a unique situation that has popped up, not only in the middle of a season, but in the middle of a season. In the focal point is a team that's undefeated, ranked number 2, and then playing an in-state team this weekend. So I think the Big Ten took it on behalf of themselves to pass the information that the NCAA gave them on to Michigan State and others. Your second question would be a good one for Jim Harbaugh. I have no idea why Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, if he was involved in this, would do this. Look, I picked Michigan to win it all this year in the preseason. They have the talent, and they have proved over the last few years, how successful they can be. So I don't really know that this was necessary for certainly 90% of their games.
Hey Ross, Tom Mazaway,
Thanks
thanks for coming on with us. I just got a quick question here for you. As far as Jim Harbaugh goes, what NCAA, it just seems that they have an axe to grind with him in Michigan. They tried to get him with Cheeseburger Gate earlier. They self-impose a sanction on themselves here. Are they just out? Is someone just out to get this guy?
Probably not a question for me. I think those people in Indianapolis would answer that. I have a feeling they wouldn't answer that. But here's the thing. Whenever you start winning, and you start winning by a lot, Michigan's won, I think, 29 of their last 32 games. You catch the attention of not just the NCAA, but your conference members as well. And as I began the segment here talking about, that's usually how investigations start, right, with a tip. And if a tip leads to actual evidence, which there was apparently evidence for the dead period recruiting meal and all that, like you mentioned, and then they've apparently got good enough evidence here to tell the Big Ten, and then the Big Ten to disseminate that information. But yeah, I don't know. It's certainly interesting. Michigan has kept Indianapolis, I guess, quite busy the last couple of years.
Well, we think it's Ryan Day, so we're gonna drop We're going to drop the mic there, Ross.
Exactly.
Hey,
No
Ross.
comment.
Hey, Ross, thanks so much for your time, my friend. We appreciate it.
Man.
Thanks for joining us on short notice. Check out Ross.
Ross, appreciate you, buddy.
On Twitter, at Ross Dellinger, on X, at Ross Dellinger. Of course, writes for Yahoo Sports. And yes, we think it is Ryan Day.
We smell a rat.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, my goodness.
With a painted beard.
Guys, I'm going to get one more break in here. When we come back, we'll react to what Ross had to say, talk a little baseball, and we got to get the top 10 Thursday into. We've had
I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to give.
I want to play DeAndre Swift watching his first baseball game ever.
We're going to do the top 10 Thursday. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yep.
There's so much breaking news today.
Yeah.
We want to give it its proper.
You just erased me.
Yeah, no.
You just erased me.
No, I take it over for Fill in the Blank Friday.
Yeah, we'll do both. We want to give it its proper.
I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt.
All right,
placement.
we'll play it.
But first, a message from the Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, yes. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month and no commitment. For your chance to get $10 a month and no commitment, visit your local Planet Fitness, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, when it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store, family-owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 Metro Detroit locations, 60 brands of dog food and pet food, the lowest prices in town, and curbside delivery if you need it. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. You know what it is, premierpetsupply.com.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason without any penalty at all? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates is offering. It's called their minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate, visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Guys, here's what you do over the next couple of days, okay? You go check out Fairway Packing Company, the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. It is Michigan State on Saturday. You walk in there, you get vacuum packed, made to order, or not made to order, vacuum packed, grab and go. That's the word I'm looking for. Grab and go steaks. One individually packed steak at a time. You want this one, you want that one, you want this one, you want that one. Go buy it, throw it on the grill, treat yourself to dinner at your home on the barbecue grill on Saturday night before Michigan and Michigan State. That's what you do, because for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You don't have to go to one of those fancy restaurants to experience the Fairway difference. Experience it for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. If you can't make it in person, order online. They ship next day. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Cut, prime, aged, packed, sourced to perfection.
All right, gang. Woodward Sports Network. What did you make of Ross Dellinger, Bray?
There's a lot of speculation, a lot of nothing burger in terms of, not in terms of what he did. He's done his due diligence well, and we appreciate him for coming on. But in terms of the same things that you kind of pointed out, it's since 1994, I believe, but there's nothing. Technically, you can't do anything about it. Technically, you can't penalize 11-, 1-, 6-, who cares, the 40-yard dash. Doesn't matter. There's nothing going on with this case, and it just goes back to an entity that no longer exists, that no longer has power, that nobody goes to, that nobody cares about, and that is the NCAA. And the NCAA did this to themselves, and now they're trying to pull in that big well. They're trying to catch that big well and say, look, we still got it. We still got one. We still put Jim Harbaugh on the hook. Newsflash, it ain't going to happen.
Ward Manuel did release a statement.
Ooh.
Here's what it says. I want to personally assure you that U of M Athletics will offer its complete cooperation to the NCAA in this matter. At the University of Michigan, all of us are committed to the highest standards of ethics and integrity for all members of our community. This is the same expectation I have of all coaches, staff, and student athletes. Given ongoing investigation, I'll have no further comment at this time. I hate this statement. Weak.
It is weak. I'll give you that. It's weak, but it's tough being a black man as AD, man. You're trying to play so many roles. You're trying not to piss this person off, trying to piss that person off. He wanted to just come out and say, this is bull, you know what, and keep it moving, but Ward Manuel, he can't he can't do that. But how we can do that, how we can exactly show that exact thing, though, is what you said at the beginning. Pay Jim Harbaugh. That's how you show ultimately your loyalty. Hey, don't care about this BS going on. Don't care about any of that. Here's this. Like that. Sign that. And then you hold it together and say, now we're together the rest of the season. That's how you put the stamp on of F you guys. That's how you do it. You can't just come out and say it. You gotta do it with the money. The money talks. Money talks.
You wanted them to say, hey, Jim Harbaugh and I have talked, and Coach Harbaugh said that never happened. I believe him 100%. But we'll do our due diligence.
That's what I wanted him to say.
Correct.
Yeah. That's what I wanted him to say.
Yep.
Have your coaches back.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Hey, I got some good stuff for you guys to end our Thursday.
Yep.
Now, I want everyone to chat to pay attention to this. I know you guys don't love baseball, but we told you last night Astros are going to beat the Rangers. Ryan did. I also told you it was going to be over. The over. That hit easy. Braylon said Altuve is going to hit a home run. He did. On the anniversary of his cheating against the Yankees.
You got that
Congrats
one,
on that. Braylon's red hot.
That's a big deal, man.
He's red hot on baseball. I had to just let him take this segment. But what I want to show you is the other night when the Philadelphia Phillies were smacking home runs against the Diamondbacks, DeAndre Swift and Terrell Edmonds of the Eagles. I miss you, Swifty, by the way. He's sitting in the front row
That's a special.
of their first ever baseball game. This is from TikTok. We're hip here. Listen to DeAndre Swift and Terrell Edmonds. This is pure joy for me and for them. Check it out.
How many baseball games you been to? Yeah, my first one. We're going crazy.
this
my first one too. I want to see a home run. Not right now though. Yeah, not right now. Baseball season be so long. So long. How many games they got? Don't get me the line. I don't know. Maybe different city damn near every other day. He look like he about to do damage though. Bam! I told you. He got a good song. He got everybody singing with him. Everybody know the song. That song probably gonna be in my head all night. Okay. You know, like in baseball, they switch pitchers every game. Yeah, because they can't pitch too many times in a row, right? There's so many little ins and outs with baseball I ain't know about. I said, if I ever play baseball, I don't want bat. I don't want none of that. Put me in the outfield somewhere. You see what I'm saying, bro? That's 100 miles per hour. Come on. Come on. Hello. Come on, Rob. Yes, sir. I almost said ref. I gotta say umpire, right? You're a kid, ain't you? They the ball boys. Oh. I know he love his job though, boy. No, hell yeah. He having fun. Bam. He taking second? Nah, he ain't gonna take second. Yeah, all right. You tell me he better go back. That was too high, boy. I don't even know why he swung at that one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. Oh yeah. Come on. Oh yeah. Come on. Let's go. Oh yeah. This dog lit. Where they switch pitches again? God damn. You said okay. Okay. I ain't no baseball games will survive like this though. I gotta come back to one of these for real.
I gotta come back for one of these. This what your pitchers again? They're in a different city every night. Put me in the outfield. I don't need to look at that. Herb. I loved that video.
It's pretty special. I saw that too. I watched it like 5 times.
Oh my God. I can't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Terrell Edmonds, he looks like D-Hop.
Yeah, he does.
He's a doppelganger of D-Hop.
He looks like D-Hop mixed with somebody else. I can't remember who the other
Man,
one.
that was so
yeah,
great.
It's like D-Hop. It's like it is D-Hop. D-Hop with a little bit of J-Mo.
Isn't that something?
With a little bit of J-Mo. J-Mo's energy and excitement because D-Hop's always very chill.
Look, those are two NFL guys that look like young kids.
No, it's fun. Like you know what it is, man. Is one just speaking of DeAndre Swift. We talked about it when Ryan and I were talking about it. It's like he just needed different energy. Like he needed to be around something different. He needed to be around, and you're seeing that energy on the football field and off. But it's just so fun. Like when you're an athlete and you get the time to hang out with another one of your teammates, and you go watch other athletes play different sports. Like when you get a chance to go to admire, basketball game, or you get a chance to go watch soccer game or something like that. I remember when the Red Sox were good. Well, they were always good, but the Red Sox versus the Cleveland Indians 07. What happened in that playoff series, man? 07, Cleveland.
I think Manny Ramirez went off.
Kevin Youkilis.
Oh, Youkilis. The Greek god of thunder.
And he's from Ohio.
Yeah.
We went to a couple of those games. Those games were insane. That's when you had CC was.
Yeah, they were great battles.
Yeah, CC was
great
20
battles.
wins. They had 321 pitchers for the Cleveland now Guardians. But that energy is you get to watch guys do it at a high level in other positions and just really respect sport. Like it's just a respect, love of sport all around.
Hey, I got one more for you guys. A quickie.
Yeah.
Last night I was at the Red Wing game. Hats off to the Wings. They dominated the Penguins. But there was a special guest there last night, and you mentioned him. Jamison Williams got to push the Joe Louis horn only now at Little Caesars Arena. I was talking it up there for you, but Jamison Williams was there. It was awesome. When I got to the press box, I saw 2 seats. It was for the 2 Lion PR people. I'm like, I wonder who's coming for the Lions. All of a sudden, there's Jamison Williams with his Red Wing jersey, and he looked like a kid in the candy store as well.
That's great.
Fresh off a TD,
Love
too.
that, man.
Yeah.
Fresh
Good
off a
stuff.
TD.
All right, we got it. Here it is.
Like you had a great time last night.
How do you not?
How do you not?
How do you not with the best team in the NHL right now?
Alex DeBrincat.
Hey, look at
How about the cat?
This kid's 25 years old. He's
I
got
love
what,
it.
5 goals
I
already?
love it.
4 goals.
Andrew Kopp a couple last night.
You kidding me?
Billy Husso. That's
Billy
Braylon's
Husso.
guy.
Billy
Husso.
Oh,
Hey,
what
man.
about my guy Sherratt?
Yeah.
Ben Sherratt.
Chariot. Oh, love Chariot.
Hey, Hey, man, I think we might have told you the Red Wings over the Tigers.
I told you.
Oh, yeah.
We might have said.
We'll see.
Look out, Stevie Y.
Maz, who do you got tonight in baseball?
I got the Phillies to go up 3-0. And how do you bet against the Astros to tie this series up? It kills me. But I'll take the Astros and Phillies.
Oh, God. Bray, get us out of here, young man. Wait a minute. Can't let you off the hook that easy. Bray's on a roll on baseball. Just who's hitting a homer tonight?
Oh, who's hitting a home run tonight? You know, I gotta. You know, I'll text it.
You know who owes you?
I'll put it in my.
Alex Bregman owes you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bregman.
He owes you.
Bregman
and
owes you.
Jose Abreu.
Yeah, both of those guys owe you.
Jose
Hey, Abreu, how about buttoning your jersey?
Yeah, exactly. And then just get ahead. Just get ahead. I didn't pick you to do much. Just get ahead. I mean, I figure you're a professional baseball player. MLB get paid, $30 million. Get ahead. Get ahead.
All right, get us out of here, Bray. Is this it for third? I mean, we have one more day.
I told you it was going quick.
That's a solid 2 hours right there.
That's great 2 hours, man. We appreciate you guys. 2 hours. You give us the energy to go.
If I was Jim Rome, I'd give myself. What would Jim Rome
give a pat on the back?
Get a pat on the
back.
Rack him. Rack ourselves. Rack them.
It's 4 o'clock. We're getting crazy, so we're going to let you
Wow,
guys
we stayed
know.
overtime
We appreciate
today.
you. It is 4. We will see you tomorrow, Friday. Last dig chance. Talk about the Louisiana Lions whooping up on the Baltimore Ravens.
Top 10 Friday.
Top 10 Friday. I'm out of here. It's too late. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Woodward Sports Network. We're out of here.